I think if you're a fan of movies, you enjoy anything that makes you feel something. In a certain way is one of the more powerful things you can experience in terms of art. I think I'd always prefer something to, even if it scared me a little bit, I'd rather something affected me in a certain way than did nothing.
10 nights in Amsterdam, 12 nights here in London, and a whopping 30 nights in New York City's Madison Square Garden. Harry Styles' Together Together tour is in full swing. Hi, I'm Philip in London, and Harry is obviously one of the biggest stars in the world right now. But when I met him 9 years ago, it was a bit different. All of that was still ahead of him. He was 23 years old, about to make his acting debut on the big screen in Christopher Nolan's Dunkirk. And what really struck me was that he was really grounded, really thoughtful, and our interview turned into a very deep conversation about fame, acting, and taking on new challenges. And I was not the only one impressed. Christopher Nolan was impressed too, as you'll hear at the end of this vintage interview. This is quotable.
When I heard about Chris making this film, I think it was something that I was kind of already excited to watch. I'm such a fan of his movies, and I think him doing this, I kind of expected it to be something special. And yeah, I just went and auditioned really when I heard about it, and just feel very lucky to have been a part of such an amazing story, and now obviously watching it, something that I think we all think is such an amazing film.
There are 400,000 men on this beach.
And I just think that there's something so special about his films. They're so intelligent, and I kind of feel like when I watch this film, it's almost like every shot I'm watching, I'm like, this shot is the one that he picked, so it's so good.
Are you going to do more acting now and less music?
This is not the tour show. We don't ever play it like this again.
Good evening, Manchester!
No, I don't think so. I feel very, fortunate to get to do something that I love and get to have done this, which I enjoyed so much. But no, I don't think I'll kind of...
Okay, so music is still the priority.
I think so, yeah. I think they're so different. You try and put so much of yourself into music, and this is obviously trying to be the opposite of that. So, they're completely different things. But as a person, you hope that people enjoy what you're doing in both.
So how does this work? I was thinking about that when somebody said to me, enjoy the film. And I was thinking, well, it's a war scenario. So how do enjoyment and the war fit together?
I think if you're a fan of movies, you enjoy anything that makes you feel something. I think it's and I think once, even if something's difficult to watch, I think once you get over the initial reaction to it, I think going away from something like that, realizing that it kind of has affected you in a certain way is one of the more powerful things you can experience in terms of, art in general. I think watching, listening stuff, I think things that make you feel something is the stuff that kind of makes you realize things about yourself and kind of ends up shaping who you are, I think. So yeah, I think I'd always prefer something to, even if it scared me a little bit, I'd rather something, affected me in a certain way than did nothing.
I'm not going back.
I'm a massive fan of movies, and I'm a massive fan of Chris and his work. He takes his time and makes sure he's not rushing it. And, my first day on set, he told me that my laces had been tied wrong, and the British tied them a different way, and kind of told me the reason for that. And I just think it's, every single detail, he knows exactly what he wants, and he's obviously overseeing the whole thing, but he also knows every single thing, and everyone on the crew, would say that they learn something new from him every film when they've been doing it for, 20, 30 years.
I think once we'd cast Harry in the film, it became apparent that perhaps even more famous than I had realized. But the exciting thing for me is he's somebody who's never made a film before, and he has incredible talent, is an excellent film actor, and we get to be, the first people to kind of show that to the world, and that's very exciting.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and to subscribe, because there's plenty more videos like this, for instance, or this, that you might enjoy. See you soon here on Quotable.